Welcome contestant number one, Keith Bailey, Midlife Fascination. Midlife Fascination, Keith Bailey.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. No, it's Superman. No, it's my midlife crisis. I am a remote control airplane pilot enthusiast. You heard me right. Remote control airplanes. It's not that canary yellow convertible Corvette that I always wanted. And it is definitely not the drama of dating a 21-year-old yoga instructor. It is a remote control airplane pilot. And it's of the three, it's the only one my wife would approve of. And I got to tell you, it's not so much of a midlife crisis as it is a midlife fascination. I remember the midlife fascination washing over me as I'm standing next to my nephew at City Park in Denver, Colorado. He's working the remote controls to this little white plane that is flying out in the field. And as I'm watching this, I'm seeing my childhood dreams before me. You see, when I was 11, I bought a remote control plane, but I'd spent all of my money and I was completely over leveraged. In addition to that, I didn't have the support. My family had more fun making fun of me than they did supporting me. They'd say awesome things like, oh, you're going to go run your ostrich because that thing's never going to take flight. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom, bro, sis. And then I had a fear of asking for help to boot. And I'm sure if I would have asked them to help me with this, they would have been there for me. But nonetheless, I sold all of that and I moved on. And 38 years later, wait, did I just date myself? 38 years later, all of those things have changed, except for one, my fascination with flight. What are some of your fascinations? Are you in the midst of a midlife fascination? If so, I'd like to share with you three things that I have learned over the last few months while I've really come to settle into this midlife fascination. And the first one is you want to use the whole runway, ladies and gentlemen. There's a tendency to pull out and cut the runway short. And what tends to happen is you don't have enough time, space to be able to get liftoff and get airborne. I experienced this a lot when I had my personal training business. And clients would always come up to me like, come on, man, isn't it like some kind of magic pill that I can take to get in shape? And the answer is, yes, there is. Lean a little closer because it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, pick up the weight. Step 2, put down the weight. Step 3, repeat step 1. You have to put in the work. And if you're really fascinated about it, you're going to want to do the work and then some. The second tip, do not dwell on what happened 5 seconds ago. Because when your plane is up in the air and you make a mistake, which you inevitably do, I mean, it's life. If you dwell on that mistake, you're going to make another mistake and then another mistake. And next thing you know, you're grounded. I used to dwell on the stupid stuff that my dad said to me during times of frustration with a teenage boy. Imagine that, somebody frustrated with a teenager. And he'd say things like, when you die, they're going to donate your brain to science as unused. What does that even mean? And I don't know why I carried that stuff around for as long as I did. What's interesting is as soon as I put that behind me and I let it go, I was able to move forward with my life. We need to do the same thing. Let those who try to hold us down and keep us grounded, we need to push them to the side. The biggest thing I can share with you that I've learned after countless crashes, and the reason they're countless is just simply I just don't count them, is you want to stay 3 mistakes above the ground. When you're 3 mistakes above the ground, you have that room to be able to do the barrel rolls and the loop-de-loops and the dare dives towards the ground. And what is 3 mistakes above the ground in life? Well, it's simply called adulting. As adults, we take on so much responsibility. And it is oftentimes the financial fears that we have, or the support fears that we're not getting there, or just the overall fear itself that keep us grounded. There's a great quote by Winston Churchill, which is, fear is something that we do. And it takes courage to be daring. And to be daring means to take it on, to not be afraid. In the course of the creation of this speech that I'm sharing with you today, I've shared it with many, many people. And one of them stands out in particular, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is not 3 mistakes above the ground. Elizabeth is damn near stratosphere. She's one of those people. Entrepreneurial, started an Airbnb business that is unbelievably successful. She has the support of her husband and her son in supporting her in everything that she does. When it comes to fear, let me tell you something about Elizabeth and fear. She beat cancer 20 years ago. Somebody like that, well, they're just fearless. And when I shared this story with her about being 3 mistakes above the ground, she started to weep tears of joy. And I was like, Elizabeth, what's happening? She's like, Keith, I've had a childhood fascination my entire life, and I'm now living it out this day. I'm on the board of directors for a nonprofit organization that is focused on helping underprivileged youth learn the life skills and get the benefits that I had growing up so they can pursue their childhood fascinations. Look up. It's not a bird. It's definitely not Superman. It's your childhood fascination. And now is the time to let it take flight.